man. That shit is fucking tight, son.
Pay homage
I'm
to
a little
Biggie.
fired up.
It's homage to Biggie, but it's
I
a
should have
bulldog.
got. Where's mine?
At the stove.
You didn't even think about my.
You know what? If you ever
did
come to Philadelphia, since you've already bailed on your first time you said you'd come, then you can get one. Yeah. His CPT.
George and I are really excited, man. I mean, we're
Why?
obviously going to talk about fucking MMA, but all you MMA enthusiasts, we're excited about football.
Yeah, no
I know
shit.
people in other parts
Can
of
we
the
just
world
skip
do
to
not.
the football part?
We can't, because I need to get to shout-outs. But before I get to shout-outs, you guys need to go to the uncuttruth.com. Because
And you guys need to realize that the greatest wrestler of all time will be returning to the ring near, the octagon near you soon.
Who are you, Ferrigno?
No.
Anyway, and then you can go to kevinwhitecomedy.com too. kevinwhitecomedy.com, the Untruth. God dang, I'm stuttering. The uncuttruth.com.
Hi-oh.
Shout-outs. Now, the first shout-out, and all these shout-outs, the ones we're doing tonight, are because, George, you got a birthday coming up, brother.
Yes, I do.
And there's some other people that
I'll
have
be 30
birthdays
old.
that are,
I'll be 30 old.
30 and some change. George.
No,
you don't shortcut your
I'm-
shit.
I'm staying 30 for a while. Yes,
But
I'm 30.
T-Zun, that's TZUN21. That's his handle on YouTube. Happy birthday. His birthday is on August the 14th.
The day after the greatest day of the year.
Yes, sir. And then 40 OZ Dog, that is 40. OZ Dog, his birthday is on August 16th.
Which would be 3 days after the greatest day of the year.
Yeah, you guys are coming a little bit late. But happy birthday, fellas. Now, the UFC on Fox, Shogun versus Vera. We're doing a quick review of it because I know somebody's going to be like, man, that shit was like 4 or 5 days ago, man. You guys are coming like, shut the fuck up. We're still going to do our fucking review because we want to know what the fallout is.
Dag nabbit, Kevin. You need to calm down.
Well, I'm flabbergasted.
You
But would
should be.
actually- Yeah, so,
Your language is quite atrocious, and I don't appreciate your loudness. Oh, wait, you're black.
told you guys I'm
can't
fired up today.
help.
Anyway,
The fallout.
the fallout.
And what Kevin's getting at is Shogun. We were under the impression that the winner of the Shogun Vera match at one point. I'm not saying that this one. We were under the impression.
I never was.
No. This was from Dana. At
I
one
don't
point,
give
you-
a shit. I'm
you-
still.
Oh, hi-oh. Hi-oh.
You know, Dana's
Off
full of
the
shit
work
with
we got.
that stuff.
Yes. Shogun versus Brandon Vera. We were under the impression that the winner of that would get to face Jon Jones. What I don't understand is why everyone has totally written off Dan Henderson, but we'll get to that later.
Right.
But you also had Machida on this card versus Ryan Bader. And needless to say, after this weekend's events, Machida will be facing the winner of the Jon Jones-Dan Henderson fight.
Which is just ridiculous. I mean, because this is the thing.
It's ridiculous for Machida to fight Jon Jones again?
Yeah, Jon Jones has fucked them all up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just getting old. Like, I mean, that is why some of these cards, they're having fucking problems with them. Okay? I know, George, you're laughing at me and shit, but you know what? Why not Gustafsson?
Because he hasn't beat anyone with a name yet.
Well, let him try to beat Jones's ass.
Why?
You know what I mean?
Let him try to beat
me?
Machida.
Huh?
Let him try to beat Machida.
Well, good. Then
Here's what I do.
this is what
This is what I do.
What?
I take Jon Jones and let him go fight a mid-tier heavyweight.
Yeah.
A named mid-tier heavyweight.
Now,
let
real
him,
quick, we are discrediting Dan Henderson. This is if he gets past Dan
I'm not.
Henderson.
No, fuck that. Dan Henderson's old. He's got one weapon because he doesn't wrestle anymore. He's got to attempt to try. I'll get to that. I got a rant already. For that. Anyway, Here's what I'm doing. Let's just hypothetically say Jon Jones is 1 versus Dan Henderson.
Okay.
Jon Jones' next fight should be against a mid-tier heavyweight, just kind of like Anderson Silva did. Anderson Silva went up and fought Forrest Griffin and Irving, or wasn't it?
Yeah.
Some guy.
I don't know if he fought either one of those
He
guys
caught that
'cause it
dude's
was
foot and
over
then
so
beat the
fast.
shit out of him.
Right.
And then he embarrassed Forrest. So why not let Jon Jones go up, just mingle in the heavyweight class, dismantle a mid-tier guy, and while that's going on, you can have the 205 weight class figure itself out. Let Machida fight Gustafsson. The winner of that fights Jon Jones.
I agree with you. I think that, you know what, damn.
Because I like Gustafsson.
I agree with George. I don't know if any of you guys out there agree with George, but I think that's a good formula. You know, Machida and Gustafsson fight, and then have Jones fight like a mid-tier heavyweight.
Yeah,
I think it'd be more exciting.
Why not?
You know. Now, getting back to the Dan Henderson, Jon Jones thing really quick.
Do you want to get to that? Because we're actually going to cover that whole card after we talk about this.
You know what? That's a very good
So, I
point.
don't
That's
wanna-
actually not even going to be. That's going to be on another
that's another
fucking video. But anyway,
so basically, what happened to this? Ryan Bader is going to be an also ran. But here's my thing.
Okay.
This is what I want to talk about.
What's your thing, son?
And about this card, not even this card. About one fighter on this card.
Go ahead, lay it on me.
You competed in sports. You competed at bodybuilding. Did you compete to win and to be the best, or did you compete just to say you competed?
No, I competed to be the best.
Right.
And then sometimes I came out like sometimes there would be some fucking dickhead that would fucking get me out of like my retirement because it was like, you know, people call you out. They don't call you out, but they, you know, people get cocky, they get edgy and stuff like this, and they forget what you're capable of. And so you feel like, you know what, I'm going to show this person what I'm capable of. You know what I mean? So it was the competitive nature. I was competitive. I had a very competitive, you know, personality, and I wanted to fucking win. You know what I mean? So
And
that was me.
And what I'm touching on is I am not knocking Brandon Vera. Brandon Vera has had very one of these type careers, more like this than. But
Right.
they made a comment. It's like it's not who you beat. It's who sometimes your losses are defining you. And Chael Sonnen was trying to say this is a defining loss for why.
No, it's a loss.
Vera looked horrible. I mean, he looked like a little kid in a candy shop when he landed one of these
Chael,
punches.
do you feel like the loss you had against Anderson Silva after talking mad shit for fucking a year is a defining loss? I mean, because Anderson Silva's the greatest fucking, arguably the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world and the greatest MMA artist in a lot of people's eyes, and you lost to him, so is that a defining loss?
To me, a defining loss is when you lose a split decision.
Right.
It's not when you get knocked out. It's not when you get stopped. It's not. You don't get a fucking defining loss. Yeah, you know what you defined as? You tapped out.
Right.
You defined getting put to sleep. You don't get a define. It just, to me, I was disappointed, and Brandon Vera just looked happy to be there. Like, wow, did you guys see I lasted 4 rounds?
Right.
I made it to the 4th before I got beat. Woohoo!
The more that what came out of that,
Shogun is looking old.
Well, Shogun, but I mean, maybe you could say he's looking old, but I'm going to tell you what. I don't give a fuck. Shogun comes to fight.
Yes.
That guy's a fucking warrior.
These two dudes, if they continue to fight like that, they'll always have a job.
I mean, you saw what he did with Henderson. He does not fucking quit.
But
even when he lost to Forrest years ago, he just doesn't quit.
Well, when's the last time you heard Roy Jones Jr. talk?
I heard him talk probably like a week ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who could be the first MMA fighter that could have that?
Yeah, he could.
He's taking way too many shots to the head, man.
He did. I mean, Shogun is taking a lot. I mean,
because you got to remember, he fought over in Pride,
yeah.
dealt with soccer kicks and heel stomps. And I mean, because at 30, he's 30, 31, 32, whatever he is.
Suplex.
He's got a lot of miles on that body.
Wow.
Now, one other thing I want to talk about in MMA news, because yes, we could talk about the rest of the card. I think the only other highlight is your boy DeMarcus Johnson got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, he was
by Mike Swick, which I didn't.
Mike Swick has looked pretty decent.
Yeah, he's coming back and hungry. But with all that said, is there anything else you want to talk about on this card? Because I have MMA news I want your opinion on.
Well, what about this fucking accidental eye poke?
Like I said, is there anything else on this card you want to talk on?
I like to fuel your engine, son.
Yeah, I don't.
Nam Pam, your boy.
Yes, he did.
Closing deals out, son. All right.
All right, here's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
All right. Rory McDonald, from his perch up in Canada, decided to call out BJ Penn.
Right.
BJ Penn said, I have no problem fighting you if you submit to this basically Olympic
drug testing.
Olympic drug testing.
Right.
Rory McDonald was like, yeah, I don't know about that. Mm-hmm. And then he said he was for it. And then he said, well, let's back it up. And then he said, maybe not. And then we got to the point where it was on. These two were supposed to fight each other.
Right.
At UFC, I think 152. Maybe.
It's one of those 150s.
Right. So then it got pushed back because Rory McDonald all of a sudden got cut over the eye in training so bad that he couldn't make the 152 deadline. And he wants to push it back to 154. BJ Penn's like, no, I want to fight at 153. Now, with BJ Penn so adamantly wanting this fight, do you think he knows something that we don't? And right now, this is all hypothetical, dude. I'm just going off what I think. I mean, if it looks like a duck, sounds like a duck, and it quacks.
I'm going to say it just like they said in the Olympics when the little Chinese girls swam and crushed the records. They're like, you just don't see certain things in sports. Rory McDonald is very talented.
You don't see a woman swimming her last 100 meters faster than the men who did it?
Right.
You don't see that?
And breaking a world record by like fucking 5 or 6 seconds.
Right. Her anchor leg in that, and her IM
was faster than Ryan Lochte.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
and he beat Michael Phelps.
And, you know, when we said it about Cyborg and stuff like this, people are like, and every time we bring up drugs, there's always something like, you guys, shut the fuck. Because we know about drugs. We're not candy coating everybody. It's like we know about fucking drugs. And we've had enough friends been around them and Jack for years to know.
It's really suspicious.
It's really suspicious with Rory McDonald to a degree, just because, you know, he exhibits a couple signs of it. And I know
like
somebody will be like, well, what? Like the back knee.
He's 22 years old.
Yeah.
You passed puberty. That shit should be away.
Yeah.
Unless... Like, what you folks don't understand, one of the side effects to testosterone is many things. Hair loss.
Right.
acne. It enhances your mood. So if you're an asshole, you're going to become a bigger asshole, and your temper
You're emotional,
shortens.
you'll be more emotional.
Right.
You know?
It's basically almost like a mood enhancer.
It really is. And I mean, we're not discrediting Rory McDonald because he's phenomenal.
Again,
I mean,
this is all suspicion.
But
suspicion.
we said it about GSP, and there's other athletes we said it about. And if Chael Sonnen wasn't coming out and saying, "Hey, I take TU," he says it. You know what I'm saying? He tells you at least. I give him that.
Yes, he
you know.
does.
And Henderson, those guys say, "Okay, this is what I'm doing." Some people I think are flying under the radar. You know, growth hormone is hard to be detected. Some of these other fast acting, steroids are very hard when you use them with the growth. And if you got a system down, and you've got a good trainer, and let me tell you something, there's a very, very good fucking trainer.
Not too far from the Canadian border. That trains. He trains a lot of good athletes. He trains The Rock. He trains a lot of people. And let me tell you something. He's a fucking good ass fucking chemist. And you know what? And that guy, though, your former bodybuilders and stuff like this, they know their cocktails. They do. And so And here's the other thing: we don't know. We're just trying to. The stars are aligning, and the dots are aligning, and we're just trying to connect.
I'm with BJ Penn on this one.
Yeah,
if somebody says no, I'm saying why.
Exactly.
I'm going to tell you what right now. I told you my days I was jacked. If someone said, Kevin, I'll fight you right now, I'd be like, all right, let's roll. They'd be like, take piss in the cup. I'd be like, I don't want to fight you anymore.
Right.
Because
depends what's on the line.
It was between, yeah. And it's like, okay, I think, could I feel this or whatever and stuff like this. And that's just me being straight up.
Let me tell you, a loss to BJ Penn would not look as bad as failing a drug test to BJ Penn for Rory McDonald because he's still young. He's under 25.
Yeah, he's young. And he's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's
is he?
Well, I mean, I think honestly, even if he is taking any PEDs, the guy's still going to be good.
His talent's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
and the
he's
other thing,
talented.
I read an interesting thing about Dana White today where he doesn't see this as an issue. He sees it as an issue when guys abuse it, and he thinks it's legal. That was his stance. It's legal. And I'm just like, it's only legal in your fucking sport. It's not legal in the NFL. It's not like if you want to be considered a pro sport, why don't you look at some of the other drug testing policies that these professional sports are using?
They better check his drugs because if you or I are walking around with a bottle of testosterone that is not prescribed to it, the last time I looked, it's a C3. It's a controlled dangerous substance.
That's in other words, that's the same as carrying crack.
Yeah.
Now,
so I mean, that's illegal.
Yeah.
He said
it's not
subscribed to us.
I mean, he said it's not illegal. If you follow all the guidelines, Dana's all for it. It's when you blow up one of his cards, and you know what he said in the interview? He's like, I'm not even worried about it anymore. People get hurt, people get injured, people do this, and you're right. So then you can put on shit events that people pay for. Why do you care? Because people are still going to pay for your event because you're the only one in town because you buy everyone else. But you're not a monopoly. You're right. You're not. Shut the fuck up. Go to a business class or two to fucking define monopoly, and it's not that little motherfucker in the top hat with you fucking rolling dice.
That's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, the car all day long, son.
Yes.
Car.
Your boy's out of jail.
What Monopoly piece would you use?
Huh?
I want to know what Monopoly piece they would use.
I used to cycle, man.
My fucking car all day.
Yeah, with a rocking chair, son.
Rocking chair?
Yeah.
What'd
Your
you
boy
have, the geriatric version?
Floyd Mayweather's out of jail, man. What do you think about
him.
that?
Good for him.
So what's up with Manny Pacquiao and Bob Arum?
What I find most interesting about the whole Floyd getting out of jail thing is that he's like 50 Cent. Like
50.
Floyd was underneath Golden Boy with this whole production thing.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's like, why am I doing this when I can go, fuck that?
Right.
So it looks like him and 50 are going to get together and create Team Money. And Team Money is going to be a production company, much like Floyd, much like Oscars is.
Right.
Golden
So
Boy.
it's going to be just a big promotion company.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to, yeah.
He's going to make fucking bank.
Yeah. I mean,
And I think that's why we've seen that change of style
attitude.
of
Yeah,
Floyd.
well, he's got to
and
chill
attitude.
out, And all those rappers do too, like 50 Cent. I mean, all of them, I'm sure they've come from some tough fucking roots. But after when you start making that kind of cheese, and they're like, okay, you got to soften your stance a little bit. You soften up like
50,
butter.
50 endorses some products, doesn't he?
He does. We'll be talking about those bad boys next month, man. But anyway.
So what? All right.
So
it
this
looks
is the
like
thing.
Manny Pacquiao slated to fight November 10th.
Yeah.
To who's he fighting? Because
he's not going to fight because Arum has basically said, well, Floyd Mayweather's not going to be ready to fight us, so we have a choice of 3 opponents, and really, it's going to cost, it's going to cost me a lot of money, Manny. How am I going to, I've got to see, who they are?
Are they all Bob Arum fighters?
Well, it's Timothy Bradley again.
Bob Arum fighter.
It's Juan Manuel Marquez again.
Is he an Arum fighter?
I don't even fucking know.
Okay.
And then it's Miguel Cotto, who was with him again. So it's all repeat performances.
So basically,
now at
boxing
this
is
point,
getting a lot like MMA.
I'm just starting to say, you know what, man? The things that Floyd Mayweather said are starting to make a lot of sense. You know, and we were Manny Pacquiao fans, but I'm telling you what, Bob Arum really controls a lot of shit. And I mean, I think Floyd Mayweather made the right move from getting away from these fucking guys, because that's where he makes his money.
Yes, he does.
And how can you blame him? He does all the fucking work. He does every fucking thing. He does shit. And he's like, yeah, you know, I'm doing this. This is my name. I'm undefeated. Why shouldn't I get 60%? Has anyone ever beat me? I can kind of understand it. I mean, some of the shit he's done outside of the boxing ring, I don't fucking agree with.
No, let me ask you this question. If you're an undefeated fighter, this is me asking you, just again, dealing with hypotheticals.
Right.
You're undefeated. You haven't lost. You're getting toward what I would consider the twilight of your career.
Right.
There's another boxer who everyone just wants to see you fight, and he's getting toward the twilight of his career. Now, if the only difference between getting this fight and not getting this fight was 5%, in other words, 55-45, instead of 60-40, would you do it? Because I'm just saying, me as a competitor, I'd want to fight the best whether I lose or not. That's just me.
Right.
Now, I'd probably, if I could get 60%, shit, yeah, I'm going to go get my 60%, because I'd much rather have 60 of 100 than fucking 50.
Floyd Mayweather thinks like this. He's thinking, okay, now if
I'm asking you. I'm not asking Floyd Mayweather.
Well,
I'm talking about 5%, just 5% different. If you had to take 55 instead of 60, would you take it to make a fight like that happen?
I don't know. If it was early in my career, I'd say yeah. But going towards the end, where it's a possibility I'll take that big L, I might say this might be my last fucking pay.
But how much of an L? What does an L do to Floyd Mayweather's career?
It tarnishes it.
But what if it's a loss to Manny Pacquiao, not Tom Jones' bones?
Then people, you know how people are. I mean, we fucking we get on Floyd like a motherfucker, man. I mean, we told you so. I mean,
I don't know.
Think about it. I mean, it's like
I'd have more respect if he came down off that number and fought Manny Pacquiao now, because he knows that's what everyone wants. Because he says that's what everyone wants. Well, if that's what everyone wants, and let's just say all it is 5%, and I can understand 10% is pushing it,
right? But
5%, and I'm not just talking about 5% difference,
right?
Because 55% of 100 million, that's a shit ton of fucking cash.
I would want the one thing I would say is I wouldn't
drug testing.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Floyd's on anything. I would not be surprised if Manny Pacquiao was. I said not surprised. I'm not.
You know, I mean, just you got to look at things and stuff. And people will be like, man, what the fuck? But yeah, I would want it to be in the largest fucking venue.
Texas Stadium.
Yeah, like Texas Stadium or something, like a huge fucking venue where you could fill it up and make it the biggest fucking moneymaker.
Yeah.
And if I was Floyd Mayweather,
I'd want the ring to be 4x4. To fit more people in.
Right.
Why not?
If it's 4x4, he would get killed. Manny Pacquiao would fuck him up. And now if it was 40x40, he would fuck Manny Pacquiao up.
Sweet Jesus.
But anyway, that's it. We're getting the fuck out of here, man. Deuces.